Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, we reported to you there are 5 pieces of land in the state of Kansas that the Chiefs had options on to purchase, and the options were good until March 31st. Then it was going to get costly to extend the period that they would have the exclusive right to buy that land without anybody else buying it. And of the 5, I can confirm to you that the Chiefs have extended at least one. I can't confirm the other 4 yet. One has definitely been extended, and I heard the date of May 19th. Is the extension. And I didn't understand May 19th at all. So it was time to start digging. Why May 19th, which is a Monday, which is a very, very strange day. So I've got sources in the know that are part of these deals and know about these options and this land, and they're working with the Chiefs, and it's all very quiet, and these are off-the-record folks and the whole deal. We know this to be true, and we've talked about where these pieces of land are. One is obviously the Legends for the stadium, but we mentioned a place at 435 and Johnson Drive that could be a location for practice fields and a corporate office for the Chiefs to be right there. I think there's one out west, out the K-10 corridor, that at one point in time, I think the Chiefs thought, okay, there's some land out there. If we wanted to build a stadium in Kansas, we could maybe build something there. I think that one's gone. It's off the table. There'd be no reason to keep that because that's not where they want to put their stadiums. There's no reason to keep that big piece of land out by the Panasonic plant. And then there are other locations around where they could build practice facilities and corporate offices. So May 19th is the date. You know that June 30th in the state of Kansas is when the Star Bond offer expires. So these teams have to decide if they're going to Kansas by June 30th. The clock is ticking. It's April. Okay, this is go time now. There's no more 3-year holdup. This is it. So I am told by my sources that Clark Hunt told Jackson County that they have until the end of May to put another tax measure on the ballot in Jackson County. This would be for an August vote. May 19th is the last meeting of the month for Jackson County before the holiday weekend, and the holiday that occurs after that, Memorial Day, to get on the August ballot. There's no conversation really about doing this in Jackson County at this point that I know of or anybody's reported. Maybe Pete knows more or somebody else knows more about what's going on in Jackson County, but this is for Jackson County, not Mayor Lucas, not the state of Missouri. The Chiefs are well aware of what Missouri's doing and what the city is doing. This is about Jackson County. Now, I don't know if that's a deal breaker or exactly what this is, but we also know that Clark Hunt, if he's going to Kansas, needs or personally wants another reason to say, hey, we tried this and it failed. So if they're going to Kansas and they're deciding by a June 30th deadline and they'll make some sort of announcement middle of the summer, which is June, right? June, July, middle of the summer. They're going to have to do this by June 30th. They're going to have all their stuff lined up with the state of Kansas by June 30th, one would think. So if Clark is doing this exactly and saying, I've extended my options on this land to May 19th, that's the last day you meet. If you can pass something that day to put a measure on the ballot in Jackson County, we'll rethink what we're doing and take a look at it. But mostly it sounds like he has dared Jackson County to just fail on this, which they will. They're not even talking about doing this, to my knowledge. So when the May 19th deadline comes and goes and they've met, and Clark Hunt later, sometime in June, makes an announcement, if this would be his announcement, we're moving to Kansas, he will be able to say, look, we told the Jackson County legislature we need another vote on the ballot by August. Their deadline was in May. They missed that deadline again. We can only be told no so many times by Jackson County, and it's time for us to move. He is building a case to have something that makes him feel better that I'm not sure the people of Kansas City really care that much about. I think they're overestimating how much Kansas City cares, where these teams are. Some people do. I think Missourians care more about losing a team than Kansas care about getting one. I literally don't know anybody in my sphere that really cares if the Royals or Chiefs come to Kansas. They're like, yeah, that'd be closer if it was the Legends for where I live to go to a Chiefs game. It'd be more convenient, be easier. It'd be kind of cool to have a new stadium, be awesome to have a Super Bowl. Maybe rent my house that week, you know? You just don't know. So, yeah, it'd be cool, but I really don't know anybody that's like jumping up and down, oh, we got to get this to Kansas. And maybe there's a feeling by Missourians, we can't lose this. This is the end of the world. If they move to Kansas, I'll never go to a game again. Maybe, but I don't really believe that. I don't think I believe that. But it is very clear that, and it doesn't mean he's decided anything. It is very clear that Clark Hunt is building a case to move to Kansas, should he decide, ultimately that's what he's doing, to say A, B, and C happened in Jackson County, and it failed at every turn, and we just can't stay there. They failed us. They failed us on the vote. They failed us on the deadline for another vote. They failed to pay the money on time for the soccer renovation. They've failed at every turn, and he will state that publicly. Or they will tell reporters off the side, here's what they failed on. When asked about it, oh, I don't want to get into the dirty inner workings, but it just, it didn't work out with Jackson County. But then you make sure every reporter in the city knows they failed at A, B, and C, and they put that in the story. You'll know what Clark Hunt is mad about if he moves to Kansas. To me, it's a little bit disingenuous. I think the better deal for the Chiefs is in Kansas. I feel strongly about this. I think having a Super Bowl, Final Fours, more concerts, being able to build real estate and developments around your stadium that could be lucrative and generate revenue for you year-round, including and not limited to condos, apartments, things like that. Can you imagine a Chiefs Kingdom apartment complex with resort pools? And I don't know, theoretically, maybe they could build it 8, 10, 12 stories high like they do downtown and build some really cool spots for people to live right by there where the Chiefs play. Would be really cool. This is what they want to do. It isn't just bars and restaurants, but that would be included. It's about getting lease payments every month or selling condominiums for massive profits and being the HOA and making money every month on all the amenities. It's about revenue outside of football. The Chiefs can do that in KCK. I just don't see how they can do that at the Truman Sports Complex. Mark Donovan said on the record this week, what we would do is we would develop with our $1 billion around Arrowhead some game things that could be utilized on game day, but we're not talking about the Power and Light District here. No, you're talking about a couple of things at Arrowhead that they could build and fill up on game day and some concerts and things like that, but they wouldn't be open or very good for things 365 days a year. That exists in Kansas, and getting this information that they've extended the option on at least one lease, and now knowing that they're putting a deadline on Jackson County and saying May 19th is what they extended their lease to, which is just the most bizarre day ever. May 19th, a Monday, I was like, something's going on here. If May 19th is what they've extended their option to on this land, that is a very strange date. But I assume it's by the day. There'd be no reason to have it be the 20th if the meeting's on the 19th. So they're going to find out, and I think my interpretation of all this is Clark Hunt has put a gun to Jackson County's head and said, fail me again so I can say I'm leaving. That's what. And you know what? You know what the best bet in a casino would be? In any casino game ever invented? Betting on Jackson County failing. It'd be a pretty good investment, wouldn't it? Clark knows what he's doing. These people are really smart, and they're really good at what they're doing. Does any of this make sense to you, Mark? Or you think I'm off my rocker?
No, it makes sense. It just continues to, at least in my mind, Kansas has the best offer out there, and we'll see if they're going to take it.
It's funny because you and I were talking before the show, before I got some other new information. May 19th. It's like, I'm looking at the calendar. It's a Monday. I'm like, what do you think that is? He's like, oh, boy, both of us were scratching our heads. I don't know. But there you have it. The latest on the Chiefs and a possible move to the state of Kansas. I'm not reporting to you that the Chiefs are doing anything. I'm not. That's not my game here. I'm just telling you, I will report to you that they have extended the option on at least one of their 5 pieces of land until May 19th. And May 19th appears to be the last day that the Jackson County executives will meet before the holiday, and a deadline that's been given to them by the Chiefs to put something on the ballot for August. June 30th is the Star Bond deadline in Kansas. It all adds up. The last meeting of May would be the deadline for Jackson County to put something on the ballot. That leaves them the month of June to still qualify for the Star Bonds in Kansas and leaves their options open for a few weeks. That's the way you negotiate these things. And if nothing's there and nothing's done by May 19th, I think they buy the land, and I think they'll make an announcement shortly after that they've purchased the land and they plan to go instead of just extending the option on the land. 913-408-7957, your number to call if you'd like to join us. To be honest, Mayor Lucas seems pretty sure the Royals are staying in Missouri. It's almost starting, but what I'm telling you here about the Chiefs and what Mark Donovan wants, what he clearly wants in his comments again this week publicly, it's really all starting to kind of look like and add up with the confidence of Mayor Lucas that the Royals are staying in Missouri and all of this information about the Chiefs headed toward Kansas, which they have not decided yet. Nothing's imminent. They have not decided. It's starting to look like each state's going to get one. And is that something we can live with?
Yeah, it seems like Mayor Lucas is going all in on the Royals. Not that he's not on the Chiefs, but it publicly sounds like he's going all in on the Royals.
Yeah. Then, if that happens, as we've just outlined, if that happens, what happens at the Truman Sports Complex? What would they develop there? What would it be? And who'd want the land? It's county land, right? County owns and operates all the land. That would be really interesting to see what would happen at the Truman Sports Complex.